Good evening. This is Matt Kovacic and Justin Hopp with Dirt Track Central. We'll talk about another exciting week in racing, I hope.
Yeah.
Starting off with a few technical difficulties, so
Yep,
we'll just
so
see how she goes tonight. But
If you do seem to lose us, we'll maybe just have to record the show later. We've been getting internet in and out here, so if it does go out on us, we may just have to record the show and you'll post it up for you later. So, we want to thank off with starting our sponsors. Thanking our sponsors. And let's see if I can get them brought up here. There we go.
yeah, as always, Engine Quest is our presenting sponsor of Dirt Track Central, and they're joined by Extreme Motorsports, Heartland VP Race Fuels, BMS Modifieds, Contour Cameras, and BSB Manufacturing. So thank you to all those fine folks that help make this possible. As always, we try and start the show off with showing you one of the races that we were able to attend last week, and Justin made it out to Thunder Hill Speedway for the Lucas Oil MLRA late model show, as well as, of course, their weekly IMCA racing. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that late model race. That was a rare weekend this past weekend, with 3 nights of late model racing being scheduled. Of course, had the rain out in Salina, so missed out on that one. But there was racing at Thunder Hill, and then also Colby and 81 Speedway both had late model shows on Sunday night.
Yep, so a lot of late model racing. So here we go. Wow, I said here we go.
Maybe.
Here it is.
Race earlier tonight, Earl Kinderconnect, E1T. Driver for Terry Panel on the outside of row number 4 out of Broken Bow, Oklahoma. The driver from Hermitage, Missouri. Panel Motorsports sponsors on the 33X of Eric Turner. Eric Turner, their car number 33X. The Turner's inside, starting 7th on the inside of row 4 from Costgrove, Iowa. Precision Performance Hawkeye Harley Davidson sponsor, car number 58 of Dave Eckridge. Yeah, Dave! Starting 6th, last night's runner-up at Valley Speedway from Lebanon, Missouri, driving the RLB Financial Post Cab Energy Oil, car number 56 at the Rocket by Landing Cornet Power, Tony Jackson Jr. Tony Jackson's inside, out of Woodward, Oklahoma, in the Edge Services Terra Apartments. Car 02, it's a Moyer Victory Circle, Clements Power, Tommy Weeder Jr. As we make our way up to the first 2 rows, last night's winner driving a Bloomquist race car, Hatfield Power, Andy's Frozen Custard, Don Bad Motorsports for Springfield, Missouri's Terry Phillips. 102 career Lucas Oil MLRA Series wins, Terry Phillips on the outside of row number 2. And having a great run after a really solid run last week at 81 Speedway in Wichita. Driving Moneymaker tonight, it's the Shop Quick number 2, the other Shop Quick number 2, Chase Youngins from Manhattan, Kansas. Starting on the outside, he had a 3-race winning streak earlier this season. He's last year's champion, this year's points leader. Also in the Shop Quick number 2, the new Mastersville race car, J. Dickens Power, John Anderson, the outside pole sitter from Omaha, Nebraska. And starting on the pole in the Al Humphrey-owned Moyer Victory Circle, Scott Bailey built the engine. 00, he's from Republic, Missouri, Jesse Stovall. Jesse Stovall, your pole sitter tonight. Got some experience here at the racetrack. He won the Thunder on the Hill inaugural event back in 2008. No doubt race fans, your 20 drivers, 10 rows, 2 by 2. We'll give them just a moment to get strapped into 1. Gentlemen, start your engine.
Pretty nice slide job on the first lap there. So they did it again. Yeah, that time kind of missed it.
Yep.
That was John Anderson. There's two cars, shop quick cars there, so it's kind of hard to tell which one's it. But that was John Anderson that blew off the top there. And that's Chase Younghand driving the other two shop quick car there. It's in third place right now.
Kind of hard to keep track of with Anderson passing him.
Here the two shop quick cars go at it here a little bit. Terry Phillips is starting to work on the leader now. Fast, top is pretty fast, but still trying to get that bottom to work. A little slide job there.
Anderson have to let second there.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on Phillips on first restart here. He's right there.
Slick and smooth, making them work for it.
And here's the white flag. There he goes. Gives him a little bit. I'm trying to rattle his cage, I think.
All it did was leave him to run.
Yeah. I guess that's the white flag last ditch effort.
Right. All right.
Pretty good race there.
Yeah, looks like it was not bad at all. Of course, I vacationed this weekend, so I didn't see any racing. But I told Kayla it's impossible to leave the racing at home. We had car troubles, and if it wasn't for the racing family, we probably wouldn't have been home yet, because I don't know how long it would have taken that dealer to figure out what's wrong and us to shell out the cash to fix it. So really have to extend a thank you to Mike Myers and Bruce Plemisto and BJ Wagner and anybody else who offered help or may end up helping before it's all over. Dustin Forsberg. So that's testament to what the racing family's supposed
Sure.
to be about.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
And-
So, we want to thank Engine Quest for sponsoring our feature race of the race. We're going to play a little ad from them here.
EQ cylinder heads power drivers to the winner's circle. From IMCA modifieds to stock cars to sport mod divisions, the checkered flag flies often for EQ team racers. As a general sponsor of IMCA Racing and the title sponsor of the EQ Cylinder Heads Wild West Modified Tour, EQ cylinder heads are used throughout IMCA divisions. EQ's 23-degree performance cylinder head is the most powerful cast iron head out of the box and approved for use in the EQ Cylinder Heads Wild West Modified Tour. EQ's early 350 head is the approved replacement head for IMCA Northern and Southern Sport Mods, as well as the IMCA Hobby Stock division. In 2012, EQ's cast iron Magnum head is the approved stock replacement for IMCA Northern and Southern Sport Mods, along with the Hobby Stock division. When you need to get to the front of the race, choose EQ cylinder heads, the power choice of racers everywhere. Visit EngineQuest.com or call us by phone 800-426-8771.
All right. Well, thanks again, Engine Quest. Call them up if you're needing any more horsepower under the hood. They can sure hook you up. So, as you see there, they help a lot of the top drivers get to the front week in and week out. So, I guess we can move over to our results section. Like I say, we didn't hit a whole lot of races. Salina Speedway was rained out on Friday night, so they didn't get any races in. So I went up to Thunder Hill and caught the races there, and all those races are up on our YouTube channel. So check those videos out. And in the hobby stocks, Adam Armstrong picked up the win there. Not an unfamiliar name, but he's followed up by Jesse Van Lanningham, Levi Gunn, Dominic Thaufolt, and Jacob Harms. In the sport mods, it was the 7D of Dusty Leonard, Eddie Schwab Jr., Curtis Peel finished third, and Luke Stahlbaum and Kyle Oberling rounded out the top five. And in the stock cars, familiar name there, Kyle Vanover picked up the win again, followed up by Brian Labonte, Jim Powell, Marvin Griffin Jr., and Kevin Van Lanningham. And in the modifieds, you guessed it, it's Jordan Grabowski again. 19 of P.J. Conager, second, and Kurt Johnson third, Richard Spiggs, fourth, and Justin Becker in fifth. So, and in the late models, I guess forgot to type them up, but we saw Terry Phillips was a winner there, and Jeff Anderson finished second, and I don't have the rest, but that's what we got from there. So, and
All right. I'm just looking at some regional IMCA points right at the moment. Kind of finally getting far enough along in the season we can pay attention to a little bit of that, and it might mean something. And in the modified central region, Corey Lagroon here, Salina guy on top. He I guess I hear that he noticed that, and so he jumped in a sport mod and ran modifieds at Thunder Hill this weekend, and probably was a good thing. I mean, I talked to Dustin Forsberg a little bit about it at lunch here, and he said that driving the car a little bit different. I figured out a couple laps that he could do a few things differently with that car with the limited horsepower, and make it get through the corner a little better and off the corner, and make him a little faster. So kind of fun just to see how they compare and see him in something different. So you can pick up that race on our YouTube channel as well, the modifieds at Thunder Hill. At any rate, the top five there in regional points is Corey Lagroon, Dylan Smith, this would be the Nebraska Dylan Smith, Shane Hyatt, David Murray Jr., Jeremy Fournier, and Jordan Grabowski. So awfully familiar names there at the top of the list. On behind them is Johnny Sadoff, and Mike Petersilly, Tyler Iverson, Brendan Gimmel, Jesse Richter, man.
even Roger Peck there.
Yeah, lots of familiar names up there in regional points. So will be fun to watch that develop as the year goes along. And of course, those are judged off your best 30 finishes out of 55 starts. So still plenty of racing left, and some guys that kind of race for points kind of hold back and save some nights just to see where they're going to be at and what they where they want to go, and others go at it right strong from the get-go. So still hard to see what's going there, but good one to watch. Northern Sport Mods, Jesse Sobbing this year is I think he's got his schedule to where he can kind of chase another title with an IMCA, and with different things that have unfolded here. Of course, the guys that we're used to seeing up top there, Tyler Fry and Brian Lerviere last year, both just having, I think, personal things that have kept them from racing some, and then some bad luck and car troubles and things like that. So kind of funny not to see them up top there at this time of the year. But Jesse Sobbing, Nick Roberts, Racer Hullen, Scott Davis, and Kyle Proner are your top five in regional Northern Sport Mod points. And over in the stock car division, Matt Greiner, I'm not sure that I've seen him race, but then on below him, Damon Murdy, Jay Schmidt, Mike Nichols, the second and third guys we saw at Beatrice, and seen him run elsewhere.
What are you talking on regional?
This is regional stock car points,
okay.
yeah.
I went to national. That's
So you might keep that up, though.
Okay.
We'll look at it. And it's kind of still including some of the Texas guys who started a little earlier, so that's why I've kind of been looking at this. We're not quite far enough along in the season to get the Central Region guys caught up.
getting
but
real close. So.
Getting close. Looks like Nick Tubbs in 5th place. Derek Green, we saw him race up in Iowa. Nathan Wood, and then on down, Austin Carter still in the top 10, and Kevin Opheim. See Brandon Sharpata there. I know that at least at the beginning of the season, it sounded like his aspirations were to run towards a national title, and runs up there in Wisconsin. So kind of depends Looks like they've been getting a lot of rain and stuff up that way right
Yeah.
now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That may affect their season, but
Yeah, the car count can make a big difference too at the end of the year too. So he
oh
may
yeah.
be
Yeah.
waiting on those bonus points, and he racks up enough wins at the end of the season. That's might what it come down to. So
Yeah, we look over at the national stock car points, and we'll see a little more involvement from the Texas guys, and I think EQ's got a hand in a lot of these names that we've been mentioning, but I know J.C. Howell is one that they work with. Dwayne Pritchett is always a
name that's up there in the
tough name
top,
in
yeah.
Texas. Matt Greiner was looking for, has Keith White not been, oh there he is, he's down a ways. I know that he lost one of his nights of racing down there, and they've got a series that'll kind of help make up some of that, but I don't know that he can get enough nights in to get him up there in the top of the points and the stock cars and still chase the modified deal. I hadn't pulled up the modifieds yet, but I do believe he's running right up towards the top of the national modified points. I'll look here.
He is in the lead right now
Yeah.
with 11:46.
So
Very good
he's-
sized lead right now, but like I say, he's from Texas. They start a little earlier, so
Right.
that could change big time. But still, that's not a bad number with 1,200 being the
Being
max.
yeah, it's awful early in the season.
max, points he can get, and then you'd have to go off on bonuses and track championships and bonus
Yeah.
points. That's where they all ends up at the end of the season. So
Probably come August or something, we'll go through and just explain that to y'all, how that pans out, and it's amazing once you start getting into it how in depth your strategy needs to be, even from the very get go on the season, if you really want to have a chance at that. And a lot of the guys who have run for the national points many times will tell you that it may not necessarily be a great deal to get your hopes up too early, but you certainly have to choose your tracks and choose your races with the idea in mind that I want to put myself in a position that come August, if things look good, we can make a run at that. So take a look at the national stock car or hobby stock points. John Watson is an Iowa driver. He's sitting on top with 1099. David Bissonette, I'm not sure where he's out of. Shannon Anderson, of course, a 4-time national champion there, sitting in the 3rd spot. And Brian Stitch, our buddy who's putting on all the miles in Kansas, sitting in that 4th spot with 1028. And Eric Stanton rounds
Yeah.
out the top 5, 1021.
Adam Armstrong's there, not too far down in 6th maybe. So
Yeah. Yep. And
we hear his name a lot every week.
yeah. I think his drawback is, of course, going to be
Nights.
car
Yeah.
average and nights
Yeah.
in Nebraska, and I suppose probably for sure with his
Well, I
work
think he has been
schedule and
running some
situation.
Thursday nights too in Columbus too,
Yeah,
which
I think I had seen that.
which we're always doing our show on Thursday night, so we don't ever get to talk too much about that, see what goes on there. But that is one Thursday night track that races in Columbus,
And in Nebraska, that's kind of the way you got to do it with IMCA. If you're going to do it, is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because they don't have a Sunday option in kind of. I mean, you can drive out to Lex,
Lexington,
and that's
way out there for most.
quite a haul from Beatrice. I would guess that's probably a 5 or 6 hour jaunt. So, quite the ride. But it's been done by plenty
Yeah.
of them before. Brian Stitch is putting on. When he leaves from Colby on a Sunday night, he's looking at 5+ hours. So.
Yeah. Mike
That
Nichols
points
has made
deal
that
is-
Lexington
yeah,
trip a long
Lexington
time too
to-
from Iowa. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's about that same, about 5 hours is what he said it takes him. So, I don't know, that point stuff gets in your blood, and it's just addicting. It makes guys do crazy stuff. But that's part of what makes IMCA racing so much fun, and as a fan, if you get to where you understand that and can watch it, that's a fun way to keep up with your favorites, and especially if you've got a local that's in it. And it's also fun when you go to Boone to actually get to see, you know, a lot of these guys end up going to Boone, and so it's fun to get to go and watch them, kind of see how they run against each other. But I don't know. Basically, if you're running for points, it's pretty tough to do and have it be easy. So,
Yeah, most definitely. In other news, the Hawkeye Dirt Tour is back in action again tonight, actually, in Cresco Speedway in Cresco, Iowa. So it seems like they've been having quite a bit of the dirt track tour races here recently.
It's been one a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They've got another one next week. So
they've been hitting it up, and so look for some updates on what happens there tonight. You can follow our Facebook page, and we'll put something up later too.
Yep, IMCA does have the heat races posted, and we can take a look at that. But
Okay.
Jason Schoenberger for once draws a good pill. Starts on the pole of heat race 2. We'll see how that pans out. Got a Kansas guy making that pole all the time. Of course, the 19D of Darren Duffy starting to his outside is it's a Kansas-owned car anyway, or partially owned, I think. So with the Jax Motorsports team, so we naturally wish those guys luck. And always fun to see how that shakes out. 23 modifieds for a 1,000 to win show, though. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's a weeknight race and stuff, so
it does make it tough. You know, we've had discussions with several different people and different racetracks about you know, the specials. It's almost impossible anymore to have them during a weekend, because the guys who have got the money to travel and do the specials a lot of times are committed to a weekly show and local points. But then again, when you put them on a weeknight, there's only so many people that can travel so far, and so
it's kind of a balancing act there too. So you know it's you get some of those probably more quality name guys on a race you put on during the week. You know, you get some of the top guys that are willing to travel and stuff like that, but you might not get as many of the weekly racers to support that on their just a regular week race. So it's
it's also gotten to the point where, good, bad, or otherwise, I think 1,000 to win show has almost gotten to the point where it's just kind of lost some of its luster. There's not that there's a whole lot of shows out there that are bigger, but there's getting to be more and more of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a lot more bigger ones, but there's more 1,000 to win shows, I think.
Yeah, there's so many of them that people don't travel as far for 1,000 to win, and so it, I think. I'm hoping that we see, with the Hayes show coming up, that 2,000 to win and 200 to start on a weeknight. I think that's going to draw quite a few cars, and
I think there's some other names too that are going to draw some people in.
Too. I suppose as a racer, it'd be fun to say that you were in a heat race with Clint Boyer or Kenny Schrader at some point in your career. And even just to be in the same pits, and whether it's a sport mod or whatever. I guess nothing official yet, but it sounds like there's going to be a potential that you'll be able to buy a raffle ticket to actually take a ride in a 2-seater modified with either Clint Boyer or Kenny Schrader. So I think that'll be exciting.
Sure.
I'd sign up for that.
Oh, yeah.
But I would guess that our odds are not going to be too good. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of tickets in that pot. And there's also, rumblings of several different things. Probably maybe a little too early to say on all of it, but definitely a show that we're all looking forward to. But, I guess, back to the Hawkeye Dirt Tour thing, it's like you said, it's a balancing act. one of the things I kind of wish I'd like to see them do is make a little more sense when it comes to a holiday, or if they could be even Thursday night, though. You're looking at, for us, we're going to take off
a day off.
2 days to be able to go watch one, and that's what's made it tough for us. We'd love to go, and with having at least one Kansas guy pulling that way, can do a little hitchhiking, but 2 days off of work very many times during the season, and then of course a week for Boone, and I'm going to take a week for the Dakota series, and there's just not enough vacation in the year.
Yeah, it adds up. So, but yeah, it'd help if they kind of made those races where you can hit more at one time too. Like we said, when we went up there and we got 4 days of racing in, it made it worth it.
Made it
for
worth
us.
it. Yeah,
us
we
to
got
have
4
to
days
haul.
of racing with one vacation day, which
So
made it nice.
That's nice.
Kind of trying to figure out a way to make that happen with the August 7th show. I talked a little bit to Joaquini, and of course it gets tough when you're using volunteers' time to prep your racetrack, and they'd already had a race on weeks either side of that, and just didn't want to use up the volunteers by adding a race that night. But if we can get a Sunday night show, there's BST races in Colby the Friday and Saturday previous to that 2,000 to win. So ideally, if we could pick up a Sunday show there, and all else fails, Lexington is probably 2 hours, I would guess, from Colby, or 2.5, and probably 2 hours from Hayes. So there's options for guys to come out this way and spend 4 days and get to race for good money every night, really. So that'll be exciting to see, and I think we'll see some good quality race cars at that show. So if it's not on your calendar, it probably should be.
As we were talking about Hayes, Peanut Butter says Jesse will be in Hayes on August 7th, so he plans on making the haul down for that race.
Good. When he says Jesse, he's
I'm guessing
referring
so.
to Jesse Sobbing,
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
would
guessing too.
imagine. There's probably a few other Jessies that'll make the call as well, but Peanut Butter is a great assumer, though. So.
Yeah.
But we like having him on. Keeps us informed.
Yes, almost definitely. So
Shall we? We're
we can do the old
the
photos.
photos of the week.
Yep.
I did post already the
Okay.
ones for this coming week's show, so
I should probably try to
check
find
those out.
last week's ones first, I guess.
Yep.
If I can. And always, we put our photos up every week, and you can find the photo you like the best and like it up to vote for the photos, and the winner will get a picture. Let's see here. We'll start with this picture here.
Go ahead and blow the winner right off the bat.
Is that it? I didn't look at what's what, so
Well,
I was just going to go
looks that
through
way
and
so
but
far,
this one is Chris Braggs and Casey Wagner with the hay bales in the back at Jetmore.
yeah, a little hot lap session there.
The Great American.
The Great American Dirt
That's
Track
what I
at
was trying to think
Jetmore
of.
Motor
Yeah,
Place.
there we go. That's the
They could add a
longest-
few more words and it'd be
That's-
a lot easier, wouldn't it?
That's the longest named dirt track I know of. So.
Yeah. Have you gone to their website? It's the longest web address I've ever heard of.
Most definitely. So. And
This is Connor Pullen out of Texas, and he's chasing a couple of the BST series. I think the West and the South tour. So, young man, I got to talk to him a little bit. Had a camera on his car, and I don't remember if I know we got some mud. I don't know if we got anything worth a darn or not. But
Yeah.
he's up and coming driver, I think, in IMCA. He's raced some outlaw stuff. He's started out in sprint cars, so kind of interesting change there for him. But he said just a whole lot more affordable, and you know, for their budget, you spend a little less on the machine you're racing, you can spend a little more going racing. So sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, most definitely. So.
Uh,
This is still my favorite here. I like the way this picture pops.
It's a very, very nice photo, and the colors are really, really good.
Just the way the background's blurred out, but the car is just in focus and just sticks out.
That's definitely, you know, if you're wondering if wanting good photos of your car, you know, one thing to note is, you know, that's a fairly simple design, not real busy. Got good colors, good contrast. I tend to, cars with quite a bit of white tend to photograph pretty well. Not that some of the others don't, but it seems like if you've got a decent amount of white, not all white's tough, but
Yeah.
a decent amount of white and some contrast there, it makes it stick out. And, you know, as a photographer, I can say, and maybe this is right or wrong or whatever, but I try to get good photos of everyone when the season starts. After I've got 20 photos of everybody, I really, you know, I start taking photos of the ones that stick out, the ones that pop, the ones that take a good photo. And so that's how you continue to get good photos of your cars. If you keep it looking nice, keep it clean, and have a good design that's simple. And so I guess we can commend Justin Kenner Connect on that particular car, but there's good ones out there from everybody. There's nice looking cars. I think Murray typically has a pretty simple design, and I like that. That car's taken a nice photo and was a close second there with 18 likes, with of course Corey LaGreen there. The RPM Speedway VIP section in the background.
Yeah. Pretty neat little picture there with the two going at it. So.
Yeah, the regional points leader and the four-time national champion side by side. So put on some good racing. But
and as I said earlier, this is the winner here. Had the most likes there. So thank them. So now we'll look for the photos for this week.
One thing I might mention about photos as well, if you see a photo on here you like, if it's ours, if it's Dirt Track Devils, if it's Dave's, you know, they're all for sale in some capacity. You know, I try to be pretty good about uploading the stuff and having our site there, and so does Dave's, and Dirt Track Devils I think is still kind of working on tweaking their site, but they're certainly available as well. And sometimes the easiest thing to do is just send a message and say, hey, I'd like to have that next time you're at the track, you know, print one and bring it to me. And, you know, the equipment to do this is expensive. It's fun, but it's expensive. And so, you know, if you can support those photographers that are supporting our show and helping us out, especially Dirt Track Devils sponsoring the Photo of the Week contest, we certainly appreciate that. But all the contributing photographers we appreciate, and you know, if you want photos from us or someone else, you know, comment on there, say, hey, print me one out, bring it. Most people, especially if it's a 4x6, you know, they'll print it without being paid, you know, up front or whatever. So you know, that's normally all you have to do, and if not, some of them have got, you know, ways to
Buy them online and everything. So
have it direct shipped to you. So
yep, this first photo is from the Thunder Hills Speedway MLRA Lucas Oil late models, and
I believe the one with the aluminum mud plugs was John Anderson.
I was trying to. I think this one's a little bit more blue. The other one's a little more purple. I think that's how I was trying to tell them apart earlier. So,
yeah, it's tough.
So good picture of the late model getting it done here. And this one here, Chris Himes got the old Sport Mod working. Where was this one taken at here?
That one is at RPM Speedway. A couple weeks ago.
Can almost see the underneath of the car there on that one. So.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that's working. You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess depends on how much of a fan you are, how much of that stuff you notice. But you know, there's so many ways for a car to three-wheel, and that one's just weird the way it's like the whole car is flat and just laid over.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting, but
Oh, no, old Randy Wilson.
yeah, always has a good-looking car. Some of that hologram or whatever the heck you call that gold is tough to get, but man, when the sun hits it right, you just get a heck of a photo, and it's neat. He's also got some outline that's glow in the dark, and so some of the night photos are pretty interesting, but again, they're hard to get. So that's another way to make me shoot your cars. Make it a challenge.
Yeah.
Because I try a lot and I don't give very many good ones, but we try. So.
I always like the detail that Randy's put into his bodies and stuff like that with the holes in the sail panels and stuff to stiffen it up.
It's definitely old school Wilson.
Yeah.
That's one of a kind.
Yeah. And here's some more late models again from Dirt Track Devils here. They're 4-wide salute. Got a picture of them here. Pretty nice picture with them. Actually got their hands out all waving too. So pretty neat. So I think that'll do it for our pictures this week. And so make sure you go to the Dirt Track Central. Make sure you like the pictures themselves and not just the album. And
Right.
Go to
Yeah,
the
you're
individual picture and pick which one you want and like it up. We don't discriminate against liking more than one, but if everybody likes the same one, all of them, then none's gonna win. So
yeah. Just remember that you're diluting your vote by voting more than once. But you're more than welcome to vote them up.
Okay. Well, let's see where we're at here.
All right.
I'll thank some sponsors here.
Yeah. Extreme Motorsports is our sponsor we'd like to thank at this point in the show. Of course, they're your parts supplier at the racetrack at Thunder Hill and Salina Speedway, and something that, at least for the last few years around here, it's been something that most racers have taken for granted that it's going to be there. Something that I've noticed as we've started to travel more and more places that it's not a given that you're going to be able to find the parts you need at the racetrack, and so having a quality supplier for parts at the racetrack that stocks what the racers need on a nightly basis is one heck of a blessing, and something that even if you're not using them for much, you might thank them for being there, because you never know when something crazy is going to happen that you break a belt and you thought you had a spare and the spare you had's the wrong size, or something dumb happens, and most of the time those guys know what you need and they've got it on hand. I guess good, bad, or otherwise, it seems like most of the race cars have become so similar, which has taken some of the variety out of it, but certainly has made it a whole lot easier to have some spare parts on hand. And like we talked about earlier in the show too, the racing family, it seems like a guy's always willing to loan another guy a part, but it's also nice to have one that you don't have to pull off and give back at the end of the night. Great to have those guys hanging around the track, and so help them out. And of course, if you're in the Great Bend, Kansas area, or you need stuff shipped to you, they stock a lot of parts right there in Great Bend, and of course build the first class racing chassis, so they'd be happy to set you up with one. course, the voicemails, emails, text messages, you're always invited to do those, and we don't have any this week either, but be more than happy to hear from you. 785-201-9188 is the hotline. You can text to that number, you can leave a voicemail there, and we will answer those questions on the show. Again, you can email us at dirttrackscentral@gmail.com, and you know, anything if you want to ask
just
about.
even on Facebook or something like that too. You know.
Yeah,
send
hit us
we
on
get,
Facebook.
Get quite a bit of those comments and stuff on there on Facebook, and so if you want to hit us up that way, that's why too. So.
Yeah, as we mentioned last week too, if you got a recommendation for you know, an at the track interview, or you just want to be interviewed, don't hesitate to ask. That's probably the biggest thing we struggle with personally, is just remembering to get out with that camera before the races start. It seems like, you know, things once they get rolling, it's fast, and then it's time to relax and have a beer, and we just don't get you interviewed. So if you want to be interviewed, get after us, and we will do it. Yep, get with us if you got questions or comments or topics you think we ought to talk about, and we'll certainly do that.
Yep. I know I didn't really have a crash of the week. I ran through pretty good at Thunder Hill. There was nothing major. A couple guys spin out and here and there, but really ran through pretty good. And that's one track though that's got a lot of room too. For, you know,
you can make a pretty big mistake and somebody can still make it by.
Normally if it's a bad mistake, it's when somebody's going too fast off the top and, you know, hit the wall or something like that. There's not a lot of multi-car big accidents there because there's lots of room to avoid them and get around and make up for it. So.
Yeah, that's the plus side, and the minus side is that it's so big and fast that if you do hit, you're going to hit pretty hard.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Sounds like we should have had a camera at Colby when it comes to the crash of the week. There was several cars that had lots of body work to do. I think the one story I heard said there was somebody spun out in 3 and 4, and looked like the best way to avoid it was to take the exit. I think that was Jeff Tubbs, and hit that baby a little hard, nosedived it, took out the radiator support and the shroud and the nose piece, and got that all fixed up, and then ended up pretty well bending every corner of the car. I think I don't know, the story that I heard sounded like he was getting a little aggressive, seeing his brother pass cars and knowing he had to catch him. Couldn't quite pull it off, so I do know that Nick won out there. I don't know all the results, and those guys are working on a new website right now, and so they don't have current results posted. So they had late models out there too, had a dozen of them. So we have a video we're going to check out.
Yeah, we're going to play this video. I did shoot some extra footage there from Thunder Hill. It's not something we've done a lot of, but we might try to do some more if people like this. I just kind of shot some video from around in the pits and stuff like that, some of the stuff from hot laps and the heat races from the infield and stuff. So let's play a little bit of this here and tell you guys, tell us what you think. I was right. The purple one is Chase, and the blue one is John Anderson.
Kevin Sather there, that's an old IMCA Sport Mod name. They're down to the late models. You can see that. Made the pass on the shortcut.
All right.
All right. That was a cool view of the night. I hadn't seen that yet. And,
Yeah.
haven't seen much anything this week, but
And that is on our YouTube
wow.
channel if you want to see that in a little better quality and stuff like that. As we're streaming it here, it's not as good a quality and stuff, so you can check it out there. On there, so.
all right. If we didn't, let's see. BSB Manufacturing, want to go ahead and thank those guys. Of course, BSB in Wellington, Kansas, they've got the shock truck. They come out to a lot of the big races, and you've probably seen their name on several cars in the area if you haven't been, if you don't have them on your car. So, but these guys are manufacturers of suspension components, as well as shocks and springs and brake pads and all kinds of things that'll help you get better traction and get you to the front of the pack. So call Delbert and Jay and the boys down there if you think your car could be better. these guys can probably help you get the most out of it. So, did we have a bonehead of the week?
Yeah, we did, and we kind of
Okay.
saw it earlier too. It was in the late model race there, but and this wasn't as much that big a bonehead as I'd maybe just say, maybe a rookie mistake maybe. And we'll just go ahead and watch it. Let's see here, get this set up there. So we've got a pretty good race going between here, the 02 and the 2 of Chase Younghans here. They get side by side, but then they got lap traffic to worry about here too. Pulled a slide job on the lap traffic, but he comes back. Here comes Chase to the bottom. And whoops. It's one of those deals.
Yeah. Closing speed, I think they call that.
We'll see it again here in slow motion here.
Boy, you know, I mean, not hard contact, not much contact at all, but you know, when it's slick like that, and you're already about as sideways as you want to be, it doesn't take much to take you both.
I think it's kind of just frustrated with the lap car there too, racing way back there. The guy won past him and he ran him back. And that's how it goes. So,
yep, there you go. Well, have we heard any rumors?
guess we should ask Peanut Butter for that.
Yeah, post them up, Peanut Butter. What do you got? Of course, we getting them kind of close together here, but we'd like to thank BMS Modifieds for their participation in the show as well. They're a great sponsor of IMCA Racing and several of the racetracks as well as our show. So definitely have to thank those guys for their help. And if you're looking for a chassis, man, BMSs have been hard to beat around here lately, especially in the sport mod division. I think top 5 in the BMS or in the sport mods out at Hayes last time was BMSs. Of course, a lot of that has to do with I think their market saturation is getting kind of getting back to what I remember. You know, it used to be at Salina that you know, back when I first started watching racing, you know, a Harris was an exotic chassis. I mean, BMS was about, you know, that was probably the easiest choice, being close, and it was definitely one of the most popular ones around here. And man, they're kind of getting back to that. A lot of that has to do with their success right now. The engineering that David Murray and I think Chris Bragg had a hand in helping get that thing where it's at. But man, they just seem to be going well. So congratulations to BMS. I think they're actually, if I remember right, they're leading the Chassis Manufacturer of the Year deal again. I need to find out exactly how many times they've won that, but I know they've got several plaques up there. So, anyway, they're a good sponsor, and we thank them for that. So, let's see. Trying to think all of the events coming up this weekend. Of course, World Outlaws at Dodge City is always a big thing, especially if you're a sprint car fan in Kansas. Probably looking at probably one of the biggest sanctioning body names in racing, coming to what's arguably one of the best dirt track facilities in the country. And so if you're a sprint car fan, that's a hard one to miss. And Friday night you can catch the modifieds and the Thunder cars there. Saturday night you can catch the stock cars and modifieds there, along with the World of Outlaw sprint cars. Another full 3 nights of racing for IMCA cars if you're looking for that in Kansas. Friday night, of course, at Salina Speedway, and then either Thunder Hill or Hayes. And actually, I didn't look. I was thinking that Thunder Hill might have had a week off, but I'm not sure on that.
I was
I'd
almost
have to
seeing
look.
if they didn't. It didn't seem like I saw them on the calendar anyhow. I didn't remember.
It is Country Stampede
I do
over there,
show
which
'em.
is
I do
okay.
show
You do
'em
have
on
it. Okay.
on my calendar.
Well,
So.
I was looking at, and
But-
I knew there's a week off somewhere in
But then
there.
they
And I couldn't
also
remember
said
what
that it
for.
was every week too. So.
Well, yeah, normally they
I
run
know,
every week.
But that's how we
There's-
got it on the calendar. I think we just have it every week. So
Oh, okay.
that's probably why it's
That
not.
could be too. At any rate, RPM Speedway on Saturday and Waukene Speedway on Sunday. So we'll kind of see how we end up as far
Yeah,
as
that shows they're
being there.
racing. So that's when they're giving the truck away that they've been advertising.
wow.
They've been advertising with the radio station. I always hear when I go up that way that they're giving away a pickup truck.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
that might be the time to be there.
Yep.
And get yourself a pickup truck. So
This is the weekend. Trying to think if there's anything else. Of course, we got Hawkeye Dirt Tour going on tonight. See if there's any updates on that. But
well, as far as our picks go from last week, we picked for Salina Speedway, and we ended up getting
We all
rained
lost.
out. We all lost.
or we all won, one
well,
of the two.
Well, we're even. We're dead even
That's
anyhow.
right.
So, so I don't know. We didn't talk about what race we want to try to pick, but we probably try to
Yeah.
pick one here.
Well, I think I'm planning on making it to Salina Speedway and RPM this weekend.
And I might be pretty busy this weekend with a wedding I got to go to. So
That's probably a good idea that you make that one.
yeah, might try to
Uh,
make this one here. So we'll see. I might still make her out some, but
Yeah. I don't know. Should we? I don't know where to pick.
we can maybe just do Salina again since
Since we
That's
missed
right.
them last week.
if
Yeah.
we want to. Maybe we could even just, if you feel good with your picks, we could maybe just roll over our picks until next week. In the sport
Yeah.
mods, you
Sport
picked
mods.
Curtis Peel and I picked Seth Schroer.
Sounds fair enough.
Yep. We'll just roll that over to next week, this weekend, and actually tomorrow night. That's what it is. So we'll roll our picks over to next week, next tomorrow, and count from there. So
That kind of rounds out the week of racing and review and the week coming up. I was going to look here at IMCA's calendar. I-35 in Winston, Missouri has a special going on here this Saturday night. 1,000 to win modifieds. The inaugural Racing for Rain special. Apparently they haven't had enough rainouts up there. I don't know. I'm guessing there's probably a
I think
better
it's
story
racing
behind
for
it.
Ryan. And
Oh, is that what it is? Maybe I misread that. Oh, Ryan, R-I-A-N.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a-
different way of spelling Ryan.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Yep, that I saw something about that earlier, and it's a. I can't remember the whole story on it, but I saw some guy's name. I can't remember his last name. Not sure where I saw that.
There's a 1,000 to win 2-night fair race up in Williston, North Dakota as well. So catch that. A lot of things going on. So
Always.
yeah. As always, you can check out Dirt Track Central and go to the calendar. We've got all of the Kansas races loaded for IMCA. We've got quite a few of the Nebraska races in there as well, so you can kind of see who overlaps where and where you can go if it rains out, what the deal is there. So check that out. Hello?
Hello?
Is this the Swedish Sniper?
Used to be.
Used to be. What happened?
Everyone spent more money than me.
Oh, this is how rumors get started.
Well, that's a fact there.
All right. So we're talking to Dustin Forsberg here for the last 5 minutes or so of the show here, and it's a surprise phone call, so we'll see how she goes. But Dustin, you got a new race car, and wanted to ask you a little bit about that. Haven't gotten to see you race it a whole heck of a lot. I haven't. I've been traveling all over the place, but judging by the results, it looks like it's getting better and better. What do you think of it?
No, it's not really my style of race car yet, but if I can get, if I can learn how to drive it, she'll be pretty fast. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's apples and oranges for sure. That car is, you can pretty much take my old car, flip it upside down, and probably get about the same product as what I have now. It's that completely different.
A little bit of a learning curve, you're saying.
Oh yeah, and it's crazy the difference. I mean, if I ever get it right, it might be tough to beat.
Well, it looks like from the results that it's kind of getting that way. So, what's the plans in the near future here? Are you got some traveling to do, or are we going to see you in Salina, or where are we going to see you at?
Well, this weekend is be Salina. The next weekend, I would like to do. I'm calling sick to work Monday and Tuesday for that 4th of July week, and they got 5 races up in Iowa that I could hit. I'd like to do that, but, but I don't know. I don't think I'll have anybody to help me to go, so I might have to Jason Schoenberger that deal. Drive up there to quit, come back, and get to know some people.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, you want to go?
Oh my goodness, I've been on vacation so much lately, it's not even funny. That would
Well, maybe
certainly.
we'll take my vehicle so you don't have to sacrifice some of yours.
Maybe I'll make it back.
Ouch. Yeah, you won't have to hitchhike. I can tell you one thing. I've never hitchhiked without one, but I'm guessing that hitchhiking without a bum vehicle would be a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
But it all worked out. So, what's the scoop with the old car? Still around?
Well, you think the guy that wrecked it fixed it. Yeah, so,
You talking about the one that parked in front of him, or the guy that was behind the wheel?
the guy that's behind the wheel.
Oh,
you
okay.
can't. But it's all back together. We just need to put body on it. And right now, it's kind of got to find some aluminum. So
Well,
maybe.
we found some help for you to go to the Iowa trip here. Peanut Butter said he'd go with you, so you
Oh,
got some-
man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Peanut Butter wants to go?
He's got credentials. He says to call Austin Carter if you want to know what he is for a crew chief. But he is Johnny on the spot. So
Yeah. Has he ever actually turned a wrench, though? Or if you just drive that little four-wheeler around?
he
Yeah, I don't have a four-wheeler he can drive around.
he grinds tires pretty good, but those Mod Light tires might be a different deal.
Yeah, he'd probably go clear to the rim. He's sparks flying.
Yeah, well, I guess that's your fault for having such an aggressive wheel, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess
man.
I can give him a wood block and some sandpaper.
There you go.
That'll rough him up.
Yep, that'd be about perfect.
Well, I mean, that thing's, fuel injected and all that fancy jazz. I mean, there shouldn't be any reason to turn wrenches on it. Just tighten lug nuts and put some air in the tires. She's ready to rock, right?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about the new car is we haven't moved a bar or anything yet. So, I mean, the old car we changed about 4 things between every night, and now we're just racing the car. So,
That's
once we learn it, then we can tune it.
that's probably a good piece of advice there, and something that a lot of rookies, they chase the car instead of the driver, and end up chasing themselves out to left field. I think a lot of times.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's so fun though playing with the car. You feel so important when you're changing things out there. The pros do it, but
Yeah, I remember in Garden City, I felt really important when I lifted up the car so that Mr. Hop could make a last-minute adjustment. And I'm still not 100% convinced that it really had any impact on the way the car drove as much as it got in the heads of the competitors that were lined up behind you. But
yeah,
at any rate, it was a whole lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's confidence. He's tuning confidence, and yeah, I don't know. I usually don't have that problem anymore, but I guess maybe a few years ago I needed.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Do you think Peanut Butter has any confidence wrenches he can take along?
I think he's got a whole set of them.
Well, I'd take him, but he's got to pay for gas.
Okay, that'll work.
That sounds like a deal there.
Yeah.
Sponsorship. If you want to be the crew chief, you got to sponsor the trip.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Well, from Brendan Johnson, he says last time he checked, the only credentials Peanut Butter has is emptying the cooler. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well,
It happens.
that's right. Something's got to make the trip fun, whether it's winning or emptying the cooler, one of the two. But they're both pretty fun to do, though. Well, we've reached our time limit, so
We're kind of afraid we might not have enough to talk about since we missed a lot this last weekend, but we were able to fill it all. So
Well, he stepped it up this week.
yeah.
What's your schedule, guys?
that's a good question. We got a Dirt Track Central wedding going on this weekend,
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
as well as I don't know. There's probably Little Salina Speedway on the docket, as well as RPM Speedway.
And Keeney on Sunday too again.
Yeah, either
Nice
Waukene
race.
on Sunday or Mazda 6 transmission swap.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They're definitely races.
Which one pays
Priorities
better?
are terrible, you know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
If I chose Joaquini, it might be a pretty expensive race, but
yep.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and we might surprise you again someday.
That's fine. I'm ready.
All right. Good luck
Thanks.
this weekend.
All right. Thanks.
Yep. Bye. All right. That was Dustin Forsberg, mod light driver out of Wichita, Kansas, and competes at primarily Salina Speedway and 81 Speedway here in Kansas, but been known to not let the miles bother him either. So definitely a fun class to watch, and we'll keep an eye on him this weekend. So I think that's it.
Yep. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Dirt Track Central. Tune in every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. and we'll try to put a show together for you. And if not, you can't make it live, we always post it later, so you can check out on our YouTube channel or on DirtTrackCentral.com. So we want to thank our sponsors again to make this show happen. And those are Engine Quest, Extreme Motorsports, BMS Modifieds, Heartland VP Race Fuels, and BSB Manufacturing, and also the Contour cameras. So, thanks, and we'll see you next week.